Hi everyone. In this video I'd like to talk about the value of setting up a small space for your greyhound to call their own, a space that gives them a sense of security. Now in a kennel, whilst they're in a racing environment, they have obviously a small space that is theirs where they may not be overlooked while they're in bed, and certainly somewhere that no one's going to come up to them while they're resting. If they then move into a house where there's a larger room, or perhaps you have an open plan room downstairs, they can find this bigger space quite threatening to be in, and that smaller space would give them a sense of security. So this isn't about somewhere to shut them in for your convenience, but rather giving them that emotional support that they need in order to feel safe. It may be that you could do this by the natural arrangement of your house. Perhaps you have a space under an open staircase, for example, a quiet corner in the hall, or the layout of your furniture allows you to put them in a corner near a sofa. Perhaps you have a bay window that they could go in. So sometimes the natural features of the house lend themselves to setting aside a quiet space that is your dog's, where they can rest. And they do need to sleep just like we need to. And a dog that hasn't had enough sleep is likely to be a grouchy dog, just as you might be if you haven't had enough sleep. So getting enough rest is important, and being in a place where they feel able to relax will enable them to get enough sleep. So this is about their own emotional welfare and also their health. Now, crates are a subject that can cause very mixed opinions. And yes, if we use a crate to force a dog to stay in a space, that isn't going to necessarily be very good for their welfare. But if we consider the ex-racing greyhound, they're used to being in a small space, they're used to being in a crate for travelling, and they may find that a crate offers security that they don't feel in a larger space. So for these dogs, a crate may actually be beneficial. We don't want to force the dog to be in a crate, but by offering a choice, we can see whether that's something they choose to do, whether for them it is a positive environment to be in. So my experience of using crates for my dogs has been one that suggests it's very much about choice. I've had dogs that have chosen not to go in, often when they're taller and they haven't figured out how to duck to get through the doorway. And this chap here, he has that problem, so he never goes in a crate, but he likes a little cozy space in the corner of the room. I have another one who prefers to sleep in a crate at night. And I have another one who uses a crate as her playpen. So she stores her toys in there. She likes to go in there when she's playing. And also she goes in there when she's worried. So that is her safe space to go to when there might be fireworks, when there are thunderstorms, when something's upset her. So she definitely seeks out that crate for security if she's feeling worried at all. So here we're using crates in a way that the dog is choosing to use that for their own support. I do find that a larger dog is less likely to want a crate, but a smaller dog may well go in. And the crates that I've got are about 36 inches by 48 inches. So you do need a pretty big crate. It's big enough for the dog to lay flat out on the floor of the crate, but if they're curled up, they're only going to take up about half of it. So there's plenty of room in there to have lots of bedding to make it cozy and just adjust it to their needs. So a more flexible alternative to a crate, which can be useful for a taller dog, is to use a playpen or a room divider. So these can be adjusted to fit a shape that fits in with the shape of your house. It's the sort of thing you could use to enclose a bay window or a corner next to a piece of furniture. And it's quite likely, if the dog has come from Greyhound Trust Hall Green, they've got used to using a playpen in our office, because we have one in the office at each site, and dogs are sometimes putting there while people are talking during a viewing. so it can be somewhere they'd like to be because they've used one before. It does mean there's less chance of the dog being tripped over or startled by accident. And as I say, it can appeal more to taller greyhounds who wouldn't like to duck under the doorway of a crate. Maggie's having a lot of fun out there, barking at everything. So the location of the crate can be critical. And if you find the dog doesn't want to go in, it can be that it's not in the place that they want to be. So check out some different options and put your crate or your playpen in the location in the room that the dog seems to want to be in. I found when I've had several crates up that it's often one particular crate that's popular, and another identical crate but put in a different location can be totally ignored. So we want to put it in a space in the room where they feel comfortable. And just like they say when we're buying houses, location is everything. To start to entice them into using the crate, you could put treats in there, you could put their toys in there, you could put some favourite snacks in. Anything that encourages them to want to try it out in the first place. But I have often found a dog will just choose to go in of their own accord and curl up in there. So if you have a dog that's going to like a crate, the chances are you may not need to do a lot to encourage them to be in there at all. Always leave the door open when you're first introducing a crate. We don't want them to feel that they're stuck in there and they can't come out. And with time, once they get used to being in there, you can move on to short periods with the door shut, perhaps with you still around to open it should they show signs of wanting to come out. And then with practice, you can move on to leaving the door shut for longer periods of time when you know the dog is happy to be in there until you're back and you can let them out again. But it's important that the dog's never shut in there against their will, because this will make a negative association with the crate, and we want this to be a positive experience for them. So I hope you found that useful. Some tips on introducing a crate to help make your greyhound feel safer and more secure. It can be particularly helpful with nervous dogs or dogs that just need a space to feel calmer and help them to settle. We'll be back again soon with more videos for you. Bye for now. Look out for new videos every Monday, and why not subscribe so you don't miss out.